Step 1, decide do you really want to paint yellow? If the answer is yes, take a breather and then from a white base coat, paint all of the armour panels with thinned Averland Sunset. Make sure that it's thin so it doesn't get any kind of splotchy marks, and this may take 2 to 3 coats even over a white base coat. In this model, instead of doing any shading, I've actually gone straight to painting the non-yellow areas black. So the areas that are going to be black or be silver. This allows you to correct mistakes without too much difficulty. Remembering, of course, that yellow covers very poorly, so avoid any spillage as you can. And at this step, it allows you to avoid needing to recess shade any of the wrong areas as well. So really, when you look at it, it's the gun, it's the strapping, and it's any of the kind of metallic areas, and also the undersuit between the armour plates. Once the black is finished, recess all of the armour panels with snakebite leather. This takes time, and particularly on a yellow model or a brightly coloured model, avoid as much any overspill as you can, as this will take a while or a couple of layers to correct. Snakebite leather is a bit more forgiving than some of the darker contrast paints. I used to do this with Wildwood, but that takes forever to correct. And if this is slightly thin as well, it seems to set deeper into the recesses. Next step then is to edge highlight all of the armour panels with Yriel Yellow. As I often say, use the edge of the brush where possible. Yriel Yellow is quite a thin colour, so I found the edge of the brush didn't really work as well as for other painting tutorials. But just take your time working your way around, and at least at this stage any overspill is easier corrected, because the Abaddon Sunset is darker than Yriel Yellow. I decided to leave the armour as just a two-tone highlight. So for the second highlight, I just did dots of Dorn Yellow. Now this is quite a jump from the Yriel Yellow. It's actually almost a white colour. So really it is a case of less is more. So the sharp corners, particularly on the helmet, as that's a focal point of the model, any of the rivets, any of the sharp corners, and anywhere you feel there's really sharp lines, like these lines on the backpack. Paint all the areas to be silver with iron and steel, so the silver parts of the gun, the silver parts of the strapping, and any metallic elements on the backpack or on the helmet, and the bonding studs on the left shin as well. Shade the metallic areas then with Nuln Oil. In this model I actually didn't bother shading the studs on the shin pad, as it doesn't really make a huge difference on that area, and they're going to be highlighted up anyway with Stormhost Silver in the next step. Edge highlight all the silver areas now with Stormhost Silver. Edge highlight the black areas with Eshin Grey, so the black of the gun, the undersuit, and the black parts of the shoulder pads. Pick out the sharp corners and any rivets on the gun then with Administratum Grey. To start the lenses, pick out the entire lens with Mephiston Red, just making sure that the snakebite leather is still visible in the recesses. Paint the front half of the eye lens then with Evil Sunz Scarlet. Paint half this again, so the front quarter of the lens, with thinned Fire Dragon Bright. Pick out a dot of Yriel Yellow right at the front of the lens. Finish the lens with a dot of White Scar right at the back. And this is the finished result. If you like this video, feel free to check out the channel where there's numerous other painting tutorials, and please consider subscribing if you want to be kept up to date.